Earth's final transmission. You have sealed your fate. Incoming transmission from the third planet. High Commander Zoltar. I flicked my primary sensory appendage dismissively at Lieutenant Cragg. These primitive transmissions had become tiresome. For 3 orbital cycles, we'd been monitoring the chatter from the blue-green world called Earth. Such a dull name for such a dull species. Put it through, I sighed, settling my massive frame into the command chair. The gelatinous padding conformed to my body, offering comfort that did nothing to improve my mood. And please tell me it's not another one of their television shows. If I have to watch one more episode of their mating rituals disguised as entertainment, I might eject myself into space. Cragg snorted, his nasal slits flaring with amusement. No, sir. This appears to be a direct message to us. They have detected our presence. Now that got my attention. Our cloaking technology was supposed to be undetectable by species at their technological level. I straightened up, my 6 eyes blinking in sequence, a nervous habit from my hatchling days. How? I demanded. Our position is fixed behind their moon. Their primitive scanning equipment couldn't possibly. Unknown, sir. But the message is addressed to, and I quote, the alien vessels currently hiding behind Earth's moon like cowards instead of introducing themselves properly. The bridge fell silent. Captain Maxis dropped the nutrition cube she'd been consuming. Lieutenant Drav actually gasped, so dramatic, that one. Play it, I ordered, my voice dropping an octave. The central viewing screen flickered to life. A human appeared pink-skinned, with fur only on the top of its head. Female, based on our research. She wore a blue uniform with insignia I didn't recognize. To the alien vessels monitoring our communications, this is Admiral Tara Jackson of the United Earth Defense Force. We have been aware of your presence for some time now. Your cloaking technology is impressive but generates a specific quantum signature our newer detectors can identify. I felt my stomach's sacs tighten. Impossible. We understand you are likely assessing whether Earth is a threat or an opportunity. Let me save you some time. We are both. Humanity extends an invitation for peaceful contact. However, her voice hardened perceptibly. Should your intentions prove hostile, be advised that engagement with Earth would be inadvisable. Captain Maxis scoffed. Is that a threat? From them? Mum. The human continued. We have studied your vessels. Impressive weaponry, but your shield harmonics have several exploitable weaknesses. This isn't a threat, merely information we feel should factor into your decision-making. My jaw ridges clicked together in irritation. Terminate transmission. Bring up tactical display of their planetary defenses. The screen shifted to show the pathetic array of satellites and orbital platforms the humans called a defense network. Laughable. They are bluffing, I declared, rising from my chair to pace the bridge. Their most advanced weapons are nuclear missiles with radioactive payloads. Primitive. Messy. Our shields would barely register the impact. But sir, Cragg interjected, how did they detect us? And how do they know about our shield harmonics? I waved away his concern. Simple deduction or lucky guessing. Perhaps they captured some technology from another species. The galaxy is full of careless travelers. Should we report this to the Galactic Council? Asked Drav, always the one to follow protocol. And say what? That a pre-FTL species has made empty threats? The Council would laugh us out of our commissions. I turned to our tactical officer. Commander Vrex, analysis of their military capabilities. Vrex, a hulking figure with a cybernetic eye implant that glowed an eerie purple, manipulated the holographic display. Approximately 150 nation-states with varying military capabilities. Total military personnel, roughly 65 million. Nuclear weapons, approximately 13,000. Conventional explosives, chemical weapons, biological agents, all useless against our technology. And their most advanced aircraft? Primitive jets. Maximum speed, Mach 3.5. Our fighters are faster by a factor of 50. I nodded, satisfied. Exactly as expected. Send this message. Admiral Jackson, your bravado is noted, but unnecessary. The Zarkonian Empire comes not as conquerors but as liberators. Your planet possesses resources valuable to us. Surrender them, and your species may continue its existence under our benevolent guidance. Drav transmitted the message. The response was immediate. Admiral Jackson's face reappeared, but now she was smiling. Something about that smile made my exoskeleton itch. High Commander Zoltar of the Zarkonian Empire, yes? We know your name and rank. Your offer is rejected. You have exactly 24 Earth hours to withdraw from our solar system. After that time, we cannot guarantee your safety. The transmission ended. I burst out laughing, and soon the entire bridge crew joined in. The sound echoed off the metallic walls of our command ship. Cannot guarantee your safety, I mimicked, my voice pitched higher to mock the human. The audacity. The delusion. Perhaps they are mentally unstable as a species? Suggested Maxis, still chuckling. No, I replied, returning to my chair. This is a psychological tactic. They hope to appear stronger than they are. It's actually rather pathetic. What are your orders, sir? Asked Craig. I considered for a moment. The Zarkonian Empire had conquered 37 planets across 12 star systems. Not once had we encountered serious resistance. Humans would be no different. Prepare the invasion fleet. We will target their major population centers simultaneously. Minimal casualties at first. We need workers for the mineral extraction. Once they understand resistance is futile, we will establish a planetary government under our control. And if they resist? Rex asked, his cybernetic eye pulsing faster. I stared at the blue-green planet on our view screen. So small, so insignificant in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. Then we will show them why the Zarkonian Empire has never lost a war. As our ships moved out from behind the moon, revealing our full armada of 300 warships, we received one final transmission from Earth. It was text only, and it confused me greatly. It read simply, "You have sealed your fate." My subordinates looked to me for guidance. I merely shrugged. A final, desperate attempt to intimidate us. Ignore it. Begin the invasion. Little did I know that these words would haunt me for what remained of my life. The first wave of our invasion force consisted of 50 dropships, each carrying 200 elite soldiers. They entered Earth's atmosphere in perfect formation, creating a spectacular light show for the doomed humans below. Our sensors detected their primitive aircraft scrambling to intercept a futile gesture. Sir, Craig reported, the humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. Not to us, but to their own people. Let's hear it, I ordered, curious about their final words before submission. A different human appeared on screen, male, dark-skinned, with a completely bald head. People of Earth, this is Secretary General Omar Patel. The moment we have prepared for has arrived. Protocol Omega is now in effect. Good luck to us all, and remember your training. Patel out. I frowned. Protocol Omega? What training? Rex, any intel on this? Rex shook his massive head. Nothing in our reconnaissance data, sir. And probably just trying to maintain morale, I decided. A hollow gesture, too. Sir. Drav's voice was sharp with alarm. Energy spike detected on the planet's surface. Before I could respond, the view screen showed a blinding flash of light. When it cleared, 3 of our dropships were gone. Report. I bellowed. Unknown energy weapons, sir. Rex's fingers flew over his console. Nothing like their known technology. It appears to be, sir. It appears to be a directed plasma weapon. Impossible, I whispered. Their technological level precludes plasma weaponry, yet the evidence was undeniable. As we watched in stunned silence, more flashes erupted from the planet's surface. 5 more dropships disappeared. Evasive maneuvers, I ordered. All ships scatter formation. Too late. The humans had anticipated this. The energy beams lanced upward from multiple locations, targeting our ships with uncanny precision. Sir. Maxie said, her voice trembling. They are targeting our shield harmonic vulnerabilities. Just as they said they would. Another transmission came through. Admiral Jackson again, her expression calm and collected. This is your only warning, Commander Zoltar. Withdraw now or face annihilation. I slammed my fist on the arm of my command chair. Never. All ships commence full attack pattern. Launch all fighters. Target their weapon emplacements. As our remaining ships descended toward Earth, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very, very wrong. This was not how invasions were supposed to go, sir, Cragg said quietly beside me. What if they are not bluffing? I had no answer for him. Only the bitter taste of uncertainty, a flavor I had never experienced before this moment. And so began the most disastrous military campaign in the history of the Zarkonian Empire. The second wave of our invasion was supposed to be overwhelming, irresistible. The kind of military display that makes primitive species drop to their knees and beg for mercy. Instead, it was a catastrophe of epic proportions, and I had a front row seat to the whole miserable show. 30% of our dropships destroyed, sir, reported Vrex, his cybernetic eye flickering erratically, a sign of extreme stress in his species. Ground forces reporting heavy resistance in all landing zones. I paced the bridge, my claws clicking against the metal floor. How? How? Their weapons were sticks and stones compared to ours. Not anymore, Maxis said grimly. She pulled up footage from our ground troops. The images made my primary heart stop momentarily. Humans wearing some kind of powered armor, nothing like the crude military equipment we'd observed during our reconnaissance, were engaging our troops with weapons that cut through Zarkonian battle armor like it was made of paper. Their movements were quick, coordinated, almost augmented. Magnify that soldier, I ordered, pointing to one human who was single-handedly decimating a squad of our elite forces. The image zoomed in, revealing something that sent a cold shiver down my spine plates. The human's eyes glowed with an unnatural blue light. Her mechanical components were visible at the joints of the armor, and what appeared to be neural interfaces connected directly to the human skull. They are enhanced, Cragg whispered. Cybernetically modified. That's impossible, I snapped, though with less conviction than before. Our intelligence indicated no such technology. Their ethical committees and religious groups specifically prohibited such modifications. Drav looked up from her station. Sir, we are intercepting their communications. They are talking about something called Project Lazarus. It activated 10 years ago when they first detected signs of extraterrestrial observation. 10 years. While we watched their ridiculous entertainment broadcasts and studied their primitive weapons, they were preparing for us. The realization hit me like a gravitational hammer. Pull up everything we have on their scientific advancements in the last decade, I ordered. Focus on military applications, cybernetics, and energy weapons. As Drav compiled the data, another transmission came through. Not from Admiral Jackson this time, but from a human male with startling green eyes and a facial scar that ran from temple to chin. This is General Elijah Voss, Earth Combined Forces. Your troops are being slaughtered, your ships are falling from our skies, and your invasion is a failure. We gave you a chance to leave peacefully. That opportunity has expired. Cut transmission. I snarled. Arrogant ape. Rex, status of our flagship fleet? Rex hesitated before answering. 7 destroyers lost, sir. The humans have deployed some kind of swarm technology. Microscopic drones that attach to our hull, bypass shields, and drill through to critical systems. I felt dizzy. This couldn't be happening. Not to the mighty Zarkonian Empire. Not to me. Launch our orbital bombardment platforms, I decided. If they want to play rough, we will show them what real power looks like. Target their major cities, military installations, and power grids. Let's see how their fancy armor works without electricity. Sir, Cragg interjected. The Galactic Council protocols specifically prohibit orbital bombardment of pre-FTL civilizations. It's considered. I know what it's considered. I roared, my patience finally snapping. But these humans have violated the natural order. They should be cowering, begging for their lives. Instead, they are making fools of us. Launch the platforms. No one dared argue further. The command was given, and our 12 orbital bombardment platforms, each capable of reducing a continent to ash, moved into position around Earth. Platforms ready, sir, Rex announced, awaiting final authorization. I took a deep breath. This would end the human resistance once and for all. It would also likely end my career when the Council learned of it, but better disgrace than defeat. Fire, I commanded. 12 devastating energy beams lanced toward Earth's surface. The bridge crew held their breath, waiting for the catastrophic destruction that would follow. It never came. Instead, something incredible happened. As the beams approached Earth's atmosphere, they seemed to hit an invisible barrier. Then, astonishingly, they reflected, heading directly back toward our platforms. Evasive action. I screamed, but it was too late. The platforms, along with the ships nearest them, were annihilated by their own weapons. The bridge fell silent. On the tactical display, more than a quarter of our fleet had just vanished. They have shield technology, Maxis finally said, her voice barely audible. Planetary shield technology. That was supposed to be impossible for any civilization below level 7. Humans were barely level 3 by our measurements. Another transmission. This time, a human female with auburn hair and cold, calculating eyes. This is Dr. Morgan Lane, Chief Scientist of Earth Defense. Your bombardment attempt was predicted and countered. Your shield technology was reverse-engineered from the scout ship we captured 15 years ago. We have made some improvements, as you can see. My jaw dropped. We never sent a scout ship. We only discovered this planet 3 years ago. Dr. Lane smiled thinly. Not your empire, Commander. There are other visitors to our little corner of the galaxy. Less arrogant ones, some even willing to trade technology for safe harbor. The implications were staggering. Humans had been dealing with alien species before we ever arrived. They'd been preparing specifically for a scenario like our invasion. Sir, Cragg said urgently, our ground forces are being overrun. Request permission to evacuate surviving troops. I nodded numbly. This was no longer an invasion. It was quickly becoming a desperate escape. All ships, I ordered, recover your ground forces and prepare for immediate withdrawal. Battle Group Alpha will provide cover fire. As our ships scrambled to retrieve what remained of our invasion force, I received yet another transmission. This one was from a human military bunker, showing General Voss standing before a massive holographic display of our fleet. Leaving so soon, Commander? But we have prepared such a warm welcome for you. Perhaps you'd like to see what else we have learned from our galactic friends. The screen split to show multiple angles of Earth's surface. Massive hangar doors were opening in locations that our reconnaissance had identified as simple military bases or even civilian facilities. From these hangars emerged human ships with designs that incorporated elements from at least 3 different alien civilizations I recognized. No, I whispered. No, no, no. The human ships rose to engage our retreating forces. They were smaller than our warships, but faster and more maneuverable. What they lacked in raw firepower, they made up for in tactical precision, targeting our weakest points with surgical accuracy. Sir, Drav reported, panic evident in her voice, we have lost contact with Battle Group Alpha. Battle Groups Beta and Gamma are reporting heavy casualties. I collapsed into my command chair, overwhelmed by the magnitude of our failure. Order all remaining ships to make for the jump point. We are retreating. And the ground forces we haven't recovered? Maxis asked quietly. I closed all 6 of my eyes. They are lost. As our battered fleet limped away from Earth, a final transmission came through. Admiral Jackson again, her expression neither triumphant nor angry, just coldly professional. Commander Zoltar, you were warned. Your empire now has a choice. Consider this a lesson and never return, or come back with a bigger fleet and learn an even harsher truth about humanity. This transmission will repeat on all frequencies to ensure your leaders receive it." Then she smiled that same unsettling smile from before. "Oh, and remember our first message? You have sealed your fate." "We weren't talking about our fate, Commander. We were talking about yours." The transmission ended, leaving us to contemplate our humiliating defeat. In just under one of their Earth days, the mighty Zarkonian Empire had lost nearly half its invasion fleet to a species we had dismissed as barely sentient apes playing with technology they didn't understand. As we entered the jump point, I had one burning question: what would I tell the Emperor? The grand hall of the Zarkonian Imperial Palace was designed to intimidate. Towering columns of polished black stone rose 30 meters to a domed ceiling painted with scenes of our greatest conquests. The floor, a mosaic depicting vanquished species bowing before Zarkonian might, seemed to mock me with every step I took toward the throne. Emperor Vex Zor, may his reign endure the ages, sat watching me approach. His massive frame dwarfed the ornate throne. 4 of his 6 eyes tracked my movement while the other 2 remained fixed on a holographic display showing the remains of our once proud invasion fleet. I dropped to one knee before him, head bowed. Protocol demanded I remain silent until addressed. The silence stretched painfully. "Commander Zoltar," the Emperor finally spoke, his deep voice reverberating through the hall, "explain to me how the mighty Zarkonian Empire lost half its invasion fleet to a species that hasn't even colonized its own moon." I swallowed hard. "Your Radiance, the humans, they were not as they appeared. Our intelligence was flawed. They possessed technology far beyond their apparent development level. So I have heard." The Emperor flicked a clawed finger, and footage from the battle played on massive screens around the hall. Planetary shields, energy weapons, cybernetically enhanced soldiers. Quite the collection of surprises from a primitive species. They had help, Your Radiance. Other alien civilizations provided. I know what they had. The Emperor roared, rising from his throne. The courtiers and officials lining the hall flinched in unison. "What I want to know is how you failed to discover this before sending my ships to be slaughtered." There was no good answer. Our reconnaissance had been thorough, or so we thought. We'd monitored their communications, studied their military capabilities, analyzed their technological level. Somehow, they had hidden their true strength from us completely. Your Radiance, they deceived us deliberately. They maintained a facade of technological limitation while secretly preparing for extraterrestrial contact. They knew we were watching. The Emperor settled back onto his throne, his primary breathing sac inflating and deflating rapidly, a sign of extreme irritation. "And now, what do your experts believe about these humans?" I gestured to Science Minister Traz, who stepped forward nervously. The minister's thin frame trembled slightly as he activated his data tablet. "Your Radiance, our analysis of the battle data suggests the humans have achieved technological integration capabilities beyond anything we have seen. They don't innovate so much as adapt. They take disparate technologies and combine them in ways their original creators never imagined." "Explain," the Emperor demanded. Minister Traz displayed a hologram of one of the human ships. "This vessel contains elements we recognize from Proxima technology, Venturi design philosophy, and even some Zark engineering principles. But the way they have integrated these elements creates something entirely new. Their shield harmonics shift randomly, making them virtually impossible to target effectively. Their weapons systems draw power from what appears to be a modified Proxima fusion array, but with efficiency levels the Proxima themselves haven't achieved." "You are saying they improve alien technology?" The Emperor sounded incredulous. "Not just improve, Your Radiance. Transform. Their thinking is unconstrained by convention. Where we see established technological pathways, they see possibilities we had never considered." The Emperor turned back to me. "And what of their aggression? Are they likely to pursue us? To attack Zarkonian worlds in retaliation?" This was the question that had haunted me since our retreat. I had studied the humans extensively during our journey home, reviewing historical records they made freely available on their information networks. What I found was troubling. Humans are paradoxical, your radiance. Their history is filled with constant warfare amongst themselves, yet they show remarkable restraint when victorious. They can be barbaric in battle but magnanimous in victory. My assessment is that they will not immediately pursue us beyond their solar system, but they will prepare for our return. They will expect us to attack again, and with greater force. And should we? The Emperor asked, leaning forward. Should we gather the full might of the Empire and crush these upstart apes? The court fell silent, awaiting my response. My career, possibly my life, hung on my next words. I could recommend a massive counterattack, the expected response from a Zarkonian commander, or I could speak the truth as I now understood it. I chose truth. No, Your Radiance, we should not. Gasps echoed through the hall. The Emperor's eyes narrowed dangerously. Explain yourself, Commander, before I have you executed for cowardice. I stood tall, meeting his gaze. The humans demonstrated capabilities far beyond what we anticipated, yet I believe they showed restraint. They could have pursued our retreating fleet. They could have destroyed us completely. They chose not to. I activated my own data tablet, displaying the final transmission from Admiral Jackson. Their warning was clear. They consider this a lesson. If we return with greater force, they will respond in kind. Based on their rate of technological adaptation, by the time we could mount another invasion, they will be even more formidable. Science Minister Traz nodded in agreement. Commander Zoltar's assessment aligns with our projections, Your Radiance. The humans' technological growth rate is exponential, not linear. In the time it would take us to prepare another invasion fleet, they could advance decades beyond their current capabilities. The Emperor growled, a low, dangerous sound. You suggest we simply accept this defeat, that we allow a level 3 civilization to humiliate the Zarkonian Empire without consequences. I suggest, Your Radiance, I said carefully, that we reevaluate our classification of humanity. They are clearly not a level 3 civilization, regardless of appearances. I believe we should establish diplomatic contact instead. Learn from them, as they have learned from others. The court erupted in outrage. War Minister Krul shoved his way forward, his ceremonial armor clanking. This is absurd. Diplomatic contact with a species that has defeated us. The shame would be unbearable. More unbearable than complete destruction. I countered. The humans have shown they can reverse engineer and improve upon any technology they encounter. Given time, they might develop capabilities that could threaten not just our invasion fleet, but the Empire itself. The Emperor raised a hand, silencing the uproar. Commander Zoltar, you were defeated by these humans. Some might question whether your judgment is clouded by this experience. I bowed my head. A fair concern, Your Radiance. That is why I brought this. I nodded to Crag, who had accompanied me from the ship. He stepped forward and activated a small projector. A three-dimensional star map appeared, with a blinking red dot marking Earth's position. During our retreat, we detected unusual energy signatures from 16 different star systems, all within 200 light-years of Earth. Our analysis suggests these are human outposts or colonies, established in secret. The Emperor leaned forward, staring at the map. Impossible. Our scouts would have reported such colonies, unless they were deliberately avoiding detection, Your Radiance. The humans knew about other alien species 15 years before we arrived. They have had time to expand carefully, selectively. These energy signatures match the unique fusion technology they displayed during our battle. Science Minister Traz examined the data, his eyes widening. The analysis appears correct, Your Radiance. If humans have indeed established this many outposts secretly, their resource base and strategic position are far stronger than we realized. The Emperor sat back, his expression unreadable. For several long moments, The hall was silent save for the soft hum of the holographic projectors. Finally, he spoke. "Commander Zoltar, your recommendation is noted. War Minister Krull, you will prepare defensive strategies for all Zarkonian worlds within 300 light-years of Earth. Science Minister Traz, dispatch stealth probes to verify these alleged human outposts." He rose from his throne, towering over us all. "I will contemplate our next move carefully. The Zarkonian Empire has never retreated from a conflict in 900 years of glorious expansion, but neither have we faced an adversary quite like these humans." As the court session ended and officials filed out, the Emperor beckoned me to approach his throne privately. "Commander," he said, his voice low, "speak freely now that the court sycophants cannot hear. Do these humans truly represent a threat to our empire?" I considered my words carefully. "Your radiance, I believe they could not through aggression but through innovation. The humans adapt and evolve faster than any species we have encountered. That makes them unpredictable, and unpredictability is often more dangerous than known strength." The Emperor nodded slowly. "Then perhaps it is time for the Zarkonian Empire to adapt as well. Return to your ship, Commander. I may have new orders for you soon." As I left the Grand Hall, I couldn't help but wonder, what were the humans doing now? Preparing for our return? Expanding their mysterious outposts? Developing even more terrifying weapons? Whatever they were doing, one thing was certain: the galaxy had become a much more dangerous place since humanity entered the cosmic stage. 6 planetary rotations after my audience with the Emperor, I received new orders: return to the Sol system. Not with an invasion fleet, but with a single diplomatic vessel. I was to establish contact with the humans, assess their intentions, and most humiliatingly offer reparations for our unfortunate misunderstanding. The Emperor wasn't seeking peace out of newfound respect for humanity. Our stealth probes had confirmed my report. Humans had indeed established outposts throughout neighboring star systems, some dangerously close to Zarkonian territory. More alarmingly, the probes detected evidence of massive engineering projects at several locations, the kind that suggested humanity was building something significant. Something that made Imperial High Command very, very nervous. "You look like someone poured sour nutrient paste into your drinking receptacle," Cragg observed as we boarded the diplomatic vessel. A sleek ship named Peaceful Overture, a name so painfully ironic I nearly requested a transfer. "I'm about to face the species that handed us the worst military defeat in Imperial history," I grumbled. "Excuse me if I'm not bubbling with enthusiasm." Cragg shrugged his 4 shoulders in sequence, a gesture he'd picked up from studying human behaviors. "Look at the bright side. If they decide to vaporize us, at least it will be quick. Your optimism is overwhelming. Our journey to Earth took 16 days at standard diplomatic speed, deliberately slower than military vessels, to appear non-threatening. It gave me ample time to review everything we knew about humans and prepare my approach. My career, possibly the future of the Empire itself, depended on this mission's success. As we entered the Sol system, we broadcast our diplomatic credentials on all frequencies. The response was immediate. "Zarkonian vessel Peaceful Overture. This is Earth Central Command. Maintain your current vector and prepare to be escorted to Orbital Station Delta. Any deviation will be considered hostile action. Transmission ends." No pleasantries. No acknowledgement of our diplomatic status. Just cold, precise instructions. I couldn't blame them. 2 human ships appeared flanking us, compact, predatory vessels unlike the ones we'd encountered during the battle. These appeared to be entirely new designs, with no recognizable alien influences. Pure human innovation. That was concerning. "Analysis?" I asked our science officer, a brilliant Zarkonian named Lix, who had replaced Vrex after the latter's nervous breakdown following our defeat. Lix studied her readings with 3 eyes while keeping the other 3 on the human vessels. Fascinating construction. No external weapons ports that I can detect, yet their energy readings suggest significant offensive capability. They are either very confident or very foolish. After what they did to our invasion fleet, I'm betting on confident, Cragg muttered. The human ships guided us to a massive orbital station, another new construction since our last visit. The station's design was elegant yet practical, with multiple docking arms extending from a central hub. Dozens of vessels of various designs moved around it in carefully coordinated patterns. "That wasn't here before," I said unnecessarily. "They have been busy," Cragg agreed. "Orbital construction of this magnitude typically takes years. They did it in months." After docking, we were greeted by a delegation of humans in formal attire, no military uniforms, I noted with relief. Leading them was a tall male with silver hair and piercing blue eyes. "Commander Zoltar," he said, extending his hand in their customary greeting gesture. "Ambassador Thomas Reeves. Welcome to Orbital Station Delta." I took his hand awkwardly, my three-fingered grasp engulfing his five-fingered one. "Ambassador, thank you for receiving us. Follow me. The Secretary General is waiting." We were led through corridors bustling with activity. Humans of various physical types worked alongside several alien species I recognized and a few I didn't. They moved with purpose, barely sparing us a glance. This wasn't the reception I expected for representatives of the dreaded Zarkonian Empire. The central conference room offered a spectacular view of Earth below. Secretary General Omar Patel, the same man who had announced Protocol Omega during our invasion, stood gazing at his homeworld. He turned as we entered, his expression neutral. "Commander Zoltar, when we received word that the Zarkonians were sending a diplomatic mission, I insisted you be part of it. Poetic symmetry, wouldn't you agree?" I bowed formally. "Secretary General, I bring greetings from Emperor Vex-Zor and an offer of peaceful relations between our civilizations." Patel gestured to the conference table. "Please sit. We have much to discuss." As we settled into chairs specially designed to accommodate Zarkonian physiology, another small detail that impressed me: holographic displays activated around the table. They showed images of our invasion fleet, then shifted to pictures of the aftermath: destroyed Zarkonian ships, captured soldiers, recovered technology. "Let's be direct," Patel said. 6 months ago, you came to conquer us. Today, you come seeking peace. What changed? Pride demanded I defend the Empire's honor, but my orders were clear: honesty above all. The humans had proven they could detect deception. "You changed our assessment of humanity," I admitted. "Your technological capabilities, your strategic outposts in neighboring star systems, your ability to adapt and improve upon alien technology, these factors led to a re-evaluation of our approach." Patel exchanged glances with Admiral Jackson, who had entered silently during my explanation. She looked exactly as she had in her transmissions: calm, calculating, dangerous. "Interesting," Patel said. "You are monitoring our expansion." "As any prudent civilization would," I replied. "Just as you were monitoring our ships long before we knew you could detect us." A ghost of a smile crossed Patel's face. "A fair point. And what does the mighty Zarkonian Empire propose now?" I activated my data tablet, displaying the Emperor's offer: non-aggression pact, recognized borders, limited technological exchange, reparations for damages caused during our misunderstanding. "Misunderstanding?" Admiral Jackson's voice was razor-sharp. "Is that what you call an unprovoked invasion?" I met her gaze steadily. "What would you call your deliberate technological deception? Your hidden outposts? Your alliances with other species who provided you advanced technology?" "Survival preparations," she replied without hesitation. "We detected your scout drones 3 years before your invasion fleet arrived. We knew what the Zarkonian Empire does to primitive worlds. You are not the first expansionist species we have encountered, Commander." That was news to me. "We are aware you had contact with other civilizations, but—" "The Proxima tried to conquer us 80 years ago," Patel interrupted. "The Venturi attempted colonization 50 years before that. Each time, humanity adapted and overcame. Your invasion was merely the latest test of our preparedness." The implications stunned me. Humanity had been fighting off alien invaders for over a century, each encounter making them stronger, more adaptive, more dangerous, all while maintaining the appearance of a technologically limited species. I was not aware, I admitted. Clearly, Admiral Jackson said dryly, "Now, about these reparations." Our discussion continued for hours, delving into details of the proposed peace agreement. Throughout, I was struck by the humans' approach. They were firm but not vindictive, demanding but not unreasonable. They wanted recognition, respect, and assurances, not subjugation or humiliation. As negotiations concluded for the day, Ambassador Reeves offered to show me something. A gesture of transparency, he called it. We were taken to an observation deck overlooking a massive hangar. Below us, dozens of ships were under construction, vessels larger and more advanced than anything we'd seen during the invasion. Our first true deep space fleet, Reeves explained, capable of reaching any system within 1,000 light years, scheduled for completion next month. The message was clear: humanity was expanding, with or without our blessing. You have achieved in months what takes most species decades, I observed. Reeves nodded. Necessity is the mother of invention, Commander. When your survival depends on adaptation, you either adapt quickly or perish. And the outposts we detected? Research stations primarily, some mining operations. There are a few colonies. We are a curious species, Commander Zoltar. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. But we have also learned to be cautious. As we returned to the conference room, I received an urgent message from our ship. A moment later, alarms blared throughout the station. What's happening? I demanded as humans rushed to stations around us. Admiral Jackson checked a display on her wrist. Long-range sensors have detected a Proxima battle fleet entering the system, approaching rapidly, not responding to hails. My heart's raced. The Proxima? Here? Apparently they decided to try again, Patel said grimly. Ambassador Reeves, escort our guests to safety. Admiral, initiate Defense Protocol Theta. As Reeves led us to a secure observation room, we watched in awe as Earth's defenses activated. The orbital station transformed, sections shifting to reveal weapon emplacements previously hidden. From Earth's surface, hundreds of ships rose to join those already in orbit, forming a defensive sphere around the planet. The Proxima Fleet, 50 warships in crescent formation, dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Mars orbit. Their design was distinctive, organic-looking vessels with multiple protruding weapon ports, notorious across the galaxy for their ruthless efficiency. This is bad, Cragg whispered. The Proxima don't negotiate. They annihilate. I nodded grimly. Even the Zarkonian Empire treated Proxima space with cautious respect. On the main view screen, Admiral Jackson appeared on the bridge of her command ship. Proxima vessels, this is Admiral Tara Jackson of Earth Defense Force. You are entering protected space. Reverse course immediately or face consequences. The Proxima response came as a barrage of energy weapons lancing toward Earth's defensive sphere. What followed was the most one-sided battle I have ever witnessed. Earth's ships moved with coordinated precision, their formations shifting like water around the Proxima attack. The planetary shield flickered briefly as it absorbed and redirected the enemy fire. Then humanity's counterattack began. Ships I hadn't seen before, sleek, predatory vessels emerged from hidden positions around Mars and its moons. They struck the Proxima fleet from behind while Earth's main forces engaged from the front. Caught in the crossfire, the Proxima attempted to regroup, but human vessels were too fast, too maneuverable. Those ships, I said, pointing to the Mars-based attackers. They are using modified Zarkonian engine technology. Reeves nodded. Salvaged from your destroyed vessels. We made some improvements. Within 20 minutes, the Proxima fleet was in ruins. No human ships had been destroyed, though several showed damage. The few remaining Proxima vessels attempted to flee, but concentrated fire from Earth's defense grid ensured none escaped. When we returned to the conference room, Secretary General Patel was waiting. He looked tired but satisfied. Now you understand, he said simply. And I did. The humans hadn't just been preparing for our return. They'd been preparing for anyone who might threaten them. The outposts, the rapid technological advancement, the hidden fleets, all part of a species-wide determination to never again be at the mercy of alien invaders. The Proxima will send more ships when they learn of this defeat, I warned. Let them, Admiral Jackson said, entering the room. Each attack makes us stronger. Each new enemy teaches us new ways to fight. Each piece of technology we capture accelerates our development. I understood then what made humans truly dangerous. Not their weapons or shields or ships, impressive as they were. It was their adaptability, their relentless drive to overcome, their ability to transform defeat into opportunity. Your final transmission during our invasion, I said. You have sealed your fate. It wasn't a threat. It was a statement of fact. Patel nodded. By attacking Earth, you forced us to accelerate our defensive preparations, our technological development, our expansion into space. You gave us the motivation and the means to become what we are now becoming. And what is that? I asked, though I feared I already knew the answer. Admiral Jackson smiled, that unsettling smile I remembered from our first encounter. The power to be reckoned with, Commander. A species that will never again be vulnerable. A civilization that learns from every encounter, grows from every challenge, and emerges stronger from every conflict. As I prepared to return to our ship with the draft peace agreement, Patel offered one final observation. You know, Commander, humanity spent millennia looking to the stars, wondering if we were alone. When we finally got our answer, it came in the form of attempted conquests and invasions. You shaped us, all of you Venturi, Proxima, Zarkonian. You made us what we are, and for that, perhaps we should thank you. I thought about his words during our journey home, about how the Zarkonian Empire had inadvertently helped create potentially the most dangerous species in the galaxy, about how humanity's rise might reshape the cosmic order we had taken for granted for centuries. When I presented the peace agreement to Emperor Vex Zor, I included one personal recommendation: that we study humans closely, not as enemies or even allies, but as a force of nature unpredictable, adaptive, and utterly transformative. For in the vast tapestry of galactic civilizations, humanity was something new. Not just another species taking its place among the stars, but a catalyst for change itself. Their final transmission had indeed been prophetic. They had sealed our fate, all of us, by their very existence. And the galaxy would never be the same again.